One of the men that tackled one of the assailants during this mass tragedy, during the Super Bowl celebration with the Chiefs, has now spoken out. I really got to know what he knows. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, The Pascal Show, one word. Hit that like button down below. Let's not forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, please be sure to crush that follow button on my Facebook page if this is your first time checking out this channel right here. As you guys already know, we have been covering this new... another tragedy, guys. Let me be real. Another tragedy where they're looking at right now, as of during the reporting and recording of this video, there have been 22 people that have been hit. Got to use code words. One person has passed, and they have three possible assailants that have been arrested because of this tragedy that happened during this Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl celebration. Now, if you are living under a rock, Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl this past Sunday, and they were having a huge parade celebrating the win. Supposed to be victorious. And actually, this turns into an absolute tragedy. Now, we got some new information from an interview from one of the men. There's a viral video that has been circulating like crazy, showing a bird's eye view of men tackling one of the assailants down and doing their own, basically their own civilian arrest, their own citizens arrest, And I got to say, kudos to the guys for actually risking their own lives to save people, to stop the threat from being able to get away. Let's be real. Okay. But as you can see, there was an interview I wanted to share with you guys. I think it's very interesting. Again, it takes a lot of guts to do what this guy and other people, including this woman that he's sitting next to. I don't know if this is his wife or something like that. We're going to find out here in a second. But the fact that they were willing to risk it all, right, for the safety of everyone else around them says a lot about their character. Let's take a look at this video, though, guys. You know what I mean? This is pretty crazy. Nonetheless, I'm still surprised that this whole thing went down. Let's rock and roll.
Out front now is Paul Contreras and his daughter, Alyssa Marsh-Contreras. They witnessed the shooting and helped tackle someone to the ground who was taken into custody. And Paul and Alyssa, thank you so much for being with us. What a terrifying day. Paul, you were there, and there you shared video here of the moment that you helped tackle this person. What can you tell us about what happened in that moment?
I just heard somebody yelling to stop this guy, tackle him, and he was coming in the opposite direction. So you don't think about it. It's just a reaction. He got close to me. I got the right angle on him, and I hit him from behind. And when I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because as I'm taking him down to the ground, I see the gun on the ground.
Right.
So I take him down, and I'm putting all my body weight on him. And then another good Samaritan comes over and is helping me, because I kind of got him high, and the other guy gets him around his waist, and we're just putting our weight on him, and he's just fighting to get up, but we're fighting to keep him down.
Now, one thing I have to say, I mean, first off, mad props to these two, and of course the other good Samaritans that came over and did what they did. I mean, without them doing that, this guy could have ran. This guy could have escaped and possibly could have done more damage if this was something that wasn't some sort of street beef or anything of that sort. I mean, it's crazy to think that 22 people have been hit. Okay, 22 people right now. Okay, it doesn't seem like this was meant to be a specifically targeted attack. I think they just wanted to cause havoc for the sake of causing havoc. Again, I'm very interested to see their mugshots, find out who these three assailants are, and find out what the hell was going on, if there was some hidden agenda or there was some sort of political statement that they were trying to make. That's what I'd like to know as well. But still, no matter what, these guys risked it all, put their butts on the line, and of course knocked this guy down. And there are reports of them knocking him down and hitting him so hard that apparently he had an AR style rifle in his possession. He lost that, like he lost grip of his weapon. Somebody else took that while they did their own citizen's arrest. Again, takes a lot of guts, y'all. Takes a lot of guts.
And another Samaritan comes over and puts his weight on us, and we're waiting for the cops to show up. They finally, well, they get there, and the second cop gets there, the third cop gets there, then they pretty much take over. And I'm standing there for about a minute or two. You know, me and the cops didn't even have like one or two words, you know.
Wow.
Once they had him and got him cuffed, I sat there for 2 minutes with all my 3 daughters. And then we walked away. We headed toward our car.
I mean, it's incredible. And you're there.
I mean, it's like I said, takes a lot of guts. Another thing too, in the video, the bird's eye view video that's now going viral, people are sharing that like crazy. I'm wondering, because the camera pans off back over to the police, and the police look like they have somebody detained, right? Or they have somebody, okay? But there's like 9 of them in the video. I mean, I might be exaggerating, but there's a lot of cops there, and none of them are running after the guy that they tackled. And I'm wondering why that didn't happen. There was plenty of dudes, plenty of officers that could have ran off. You know, you need maybe 2 guys to keep an eye on one guy that may be detained. Those other 4 or 5 other cops could have gone running on foot trying to chase this mother lover down. You don't know what this guy is capable of doing. And I'm wondering why that didn't happen until they tackled him. And then they came over and said, okay, we got this from here, sir. You know, we got this. That's weird, right? But again, I don't know the full scope of the story. Neither do we. Okay, none of us know the full scope of the story on what happened there. But it's weird, you know, how he just slipped through the cracks, and these people were able to take him down with ease. It's interesting. Okay, but let's continue.
With your 3 daughters, I mean, obviously Alyssa's with you now. Paul, can I
his
just
daughter.
ask, when you say that the gun, you don't
That's
know
his
whether it
daughter.
fell out of his hand or maybe out of his sleeve, right? And when he went down, then the gun goes on the ground. Did you see him fire the gun?
No. I did not see him fire the gun. When I tackled him, I seen what I seen. Like I said, out of his hand or out of his sleeve. And I taking him down, I seen the gun on the ground.
And Alyssa, you're there with your dad and your sisters. I know you.
I do want to say this really quick, and I'm going to scroll this back a little bit, but I am curious because, you know, there is a possibility, and I doubt this is the case, but there could be a possibility of somebody actually being there, maybe planning on being a part of this tragedy, but maybe not pulling the trigger. That is a possibility, but at the same time, he still ran. He still kicked rocks. He was still trying to escape. So I think, you know, I'm sure they're going to find that this firearm was actually fired for sure. But let's continue. I'm going to roll that back just a little bit.
Like I said, out of his hand or out of his sleeve, and I taking him down, I seen the gun on the ground.
And Alyssa, you're there with your dad and your sisters. I know you took this video after when your dad had tackled this man with the other Good Samaritans, as he describes it, and then the police officers come as your dad just walked through. So now we see the multiple officers have this man pinned to the ground. What did you see during all of this? And what were you even thinking watching your dad do this?
I mean, it all happened so fast. I think the most alarming thing was when we saw cops chasing people and then seeing a young teen or kid just completely coming at us. And then I noticed just everybody in the crowd just kind of scatters and runs. So from that moment on, I knew, okay, something wasn't right. And so seeing my little sister along with my older sister just completely run. And I didn't want to leave my dad's side because who knew what could have happened or if they needed help. So I was just there to make sure, you know, his hat, his phone, his wallet didn't go missing in the process of, you know, him getting this offender down. No
kidding. I mean, I'm sure all kinds of personal belongings were flying this way and that for sure. And kudos to his daughter. Okay, this is his daughter. So kudos to his daughter for stepping up and not running away from the situation. And of course, you know, making sure her father was okay, because he's throwing himself, he's throwing himself into the fire as well. So I commend her for actually being brave enough to stick around and make sure that her father was okay as well. That's amazing stuff, man.
And Paul, I know police at this point don't really have any details. I mean, they say they've got individuals, and I guess it's unclear if one of the individuals that they are holding right now is the man that you tackled. We don't know yet, unless you know. But we don't know a motive. I mean, did you hear anything from this man as when you got him to the ground? Did he say anything? And what did he look like?
Here's the other thing too. You see this video here, right? Everyone's running into, like, the cops are running into the facility, and I'm wondering where, like, what else is going on in there as well. They're all running towards that. It's not outside so much, but why are they running indoors? I'm curious about that, right? Because all the chaos happened, from my understanding, majority of it happened outside. So I'm wondering why everybody ran inside. The cops were running inside. Interesting. But I know that's not what she's asking here, but that footage just caught my eye. Just saying.
You know, when I tackled him and I took him to the ground, he was wearing like a big, bulky, like, work jacket. So when I got him to the ground, he was face down, and his hoodie was on. His hood was on. He was face down, and I was on top of him, keeping him down until, like I said, another good Samaritan was holding him by the waist down with his body on him. So I really did not get a good look. But as I was holding him down, I didn't know if he tried to bite me or just tried to claw at my hand.
Interesting.
So I took my hand and put it outside to hold him down with the jacket in between us.
Interesting. I mean, it sounds like the guy was trying to break free. He didn't want to get caught. That's why he ran. Let's be real. And then, of course, on top of that, he's got a big work coat on. So clearly he was trying to camouflage not only just the weapon, maybe himself, whatever, because he knew he was about to do something, and he was about to try to do some serious damage to the public. So it's interesting. This is very interesting. His account.
Because he was, I'm holding him down, and we're fighting each other. He wants to get up while I'm holding him down. Then another guy helps me, and then, it seemed like a long time, but it's probably like 15 to 30 seconds.
I can
and
only,
then, he was fighting the whole time, and we were fighting him to keep him down. We didn't want to let him up and take off running because he had one gun. He may have had another one in that big bulky jacket.
Right. You couldn't even tell.
That is
now
true.
It gives some context to what you're saying, that it could have been in his sleeve, right? I mean, when you talk about this bulky jacket, Alyssa, this happens, yes. and your father runs to tackle this man because you hear shots, and this guy's running, right, with his bulky jacket. Can you describe what the shots sounded like?
So from the moment, it all happened so fast, like I've said, but it wasn't long after the celebration was all done and everybody was kind of dispersing and going back to their cars, probably a minute or so later, and you just hear pop, 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 pop. And like I said, we were at a celebration, and I think a lot of people thought it were fireworks because nobody really ran or anything. And I assumed if people, noticed it was gunshots or something, then we all would have, been out of there really quick. But then as soon as we see people getting chased and then cops running, and then not long after my dad tackling somebody, it soon came to, okay, those weren't fireworks for the celebration, it was gunshots.
No kidding. I mean, if you really think about it, you're at a celebration. It's typical to think that, okay, those noises are fireworks, but fireworks during the day, maybe not so much. But and then maybe for me, maybe because I'm just now I'm so paranoid when it comes to mass gatherings like this, that if I hear any loud pops like that, I'm ducking, I'm moving around, going, where the hell did that come from? Is that fireworks, or is that something that makes me need to grab my family and kick rocks out of here as quickly as possible? You see what I'm saying? So even so, during the day, yeah. I mean, I get it for her. I mean, it's a celebration. They won. It's the Super Bowl championship celebration. Of course, you're going to think, yeah, fireworks. Of course, they're going to have fireworks. But during the day, in broad daylight, not so much. So it does make sense that she's like, yeah, at first we thought that, but then we realized it wasn't, right? Because of how rapid fire everything was.
Well, thank you both so much for sharing this. I can only imagine just sort of how traumatic that was. Thank you for sharing, and incredible to imagine, Paul, that you who were unarmed, I guess, right, that you would run and chase someone who had a gun, and it's incredible.
I didn't know he had a gun until I tackled him, and that's when I seen it on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, again, regardless of this gentleman, you know, this Good Samaritan, knowing he had a weapon or not, he still risked it all. He still was willing to knock this guy down and detain or hold him down until police detained him. And that shows a lot about a person's character. It's so rare out here that we hear that kind of story. A lot of people run away from the fire rather than seeing people run towards the fire and be their own version of their own hero, right? So I commend him and the others and his daughters that, you know, still were in harm's way, and they didn't flinch. They were there. They did what they needed to do to get the guy. So now they got 3 gentlemen. From my understanding, they're 3 men, but they could be there could be women involved in this situation too. But they have 3 assailants arrested. Hopefully, we're going to get more information about those 3 here very soon. I'm curious if this was this supposed to be targeted and it just turned into a mess, or were they trying to make a statement? Was there something deeper going on here? I'm very curious if there's a written manifesto or anything of that sort. I'm very curious about that as well. But nonetheless, that's some brave stuff. But I say this too. Not everybody needs to be a hero like that. You see what I'm saying? Not everybody does, because this man is very lucky. I'm going to keep it real. This man is very lucky that this guy didn't just pull out the gun and do the unthinkable to him and his family. Okay. This is a very lucky move that he made. And thank God he's okay. But at the same time, be safe out there, guys, because you just never know who you're trying to tackle. Okay. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. You know, again, as more information comes out, we're going to hear, I'm sure we're going to be shocked with some of this information. I am very curious about what happened here, why it went down, who these 3 assailants are, and all that. But it is nice to hear that Good Samaritans, people were willing to risk it all for the sake of other people, you know? And again, he should thank his lucky stars that this guy wasn't equipped with some sort of device, if you get what I'm saying, or anything that was sharp. Okay. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, crush that follow button on my Facebook page. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family on both platforms. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.